But you know it starts when you're always shamed into doing what they say, even though you know it don't feel right in your heart, your soul, and mind. My dog, she don't like you, but she likes everyone. And I've never liked to admit that I was wrong. I've been so caught up in my work, could not see what's going on. But now I know I'm better off sleeping on my own. My dog, she don't like you, but she likes everyone. And I've never liked to admit that I was wrong. My dog, she don't like you, but she likes everyone. And I never liked to admit that I was wrong. My dog, she don't like you, she likes everyone. 'Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh honey, you should go and love yourself. And if you like the way it feels alone, oh baby, you can go and touch yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you can go and fuck yourself. Bitch, you can just fuck yourself. Bitch, you can just fuck yourself. You can go and fuck yourself. My dog, she don't like you, she likes everyone. My dog, she don't like you, she likes everyone. And I never liked to admit that I was wrong. I've been so caught up in my work, could not see what's going on. But now I know I'm better off sleeping on my own. 'Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh honey, you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you can go and fuck yourself. Bitch, you can just fuck if you like the way you look that much, fuck yourself. Honey, you should go and love yourself. Bitch, you can just fuck if you think that I'm still holding on. Bitch, you can just fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Bitch, you can just fuck yourself. My dog, she don't like you, she likes everyone. My dog. Oh yeah. I'd never like to admit that I was wrong. I've been so caught up in my work, I could not see what's going on. But now I know I'm better off sleeping on my own. Welcome to the show, baby. All right. Started off with my all-time favorite song. That will be my all-time favorite song from now to the end of time. For two reasons. Number one, it does honors to my old girl dog. And number two, it tells every stupid, worthless cunt I've ever known, just go fuck yourself. All right. Yeah. Well, I miss my old girl dog. My current dog, he's been an admirable replacement for her, though. I'll say that much. And my last couple of live streams, I talked about how he had encounters with this new neighbor dog, ultimately culminating with a fight in which my dog came out on top. Yeah, that fucking neighbor dog, he came by earlier today. Saw him coming around, sniffing around. So I was like, all right, now is the ultimate test. Let's go out there and confront this fucker. I'm like, that dog, he's out there. Let's go. So then my boy, he gets all fucking alert. We go outside. He rounds the corner real quick. And as soon as I round the corner, I see them. They're both having like a little little stare down. Both of them are kind of like bowed up. They got their hackles raised. They're not growling though. So I'm sitting there kind of watching the interaction, seeing what's going on. And my boy, he won't let him across the threshold into the yard. And then eventually they have a little bit of a little butt sniffing. Well, they try to. Then the other dog, he kind of starts growling at my boy once he starts sniffing his butt. And then once that happened, my boy, it put him on that in that mode where he was trying to go for the ankles, but I called him back. And then he eventually drove him out to the fucking out to the road. And then my boy turned around and started coming back. And then the dog he started chasing him. And my boy sensed the chase, so he fucking came running back. And as soon as he got to the gate, he turned around and the dog was there, and they had another little fucking confrontation. And my dog kind of bit at his ankles and chased him back to the road. And they kind of did a little back and forth where eventually my dog finally got him on the other side of the road and went over there and pissed right in the spot where he pissed. And the dog eventually kind of sauntered off back to his fucking property, with my dog finally displaying dominance. And the whole time, no true fight ever broke out. And a couple times I saw both of them smile. Yeah, it's only going to be a matter of time till they're friends. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't fucking shoot that dog. Yeah, sometimes when you display a little bit of patience, well, sometimes that's all it takes. All we need is just a little patience, as Axel would say. Yeah, my neighbors are lucky I'm nice. Some people will just simply shoot the dog. They don't fucking care. Yeah, my dog, he's not very well socialized. He's like super friendly. So it's only a matter of time. Like, even if he's around an aggressive dog, his friendliness will eventually rub off on him. Yeah, too bad various conflicts around the world couldn't be resolved in a similar way. Yeah, when I saw my dog and the neighbor dog doing their little standoff, chasing each other across the road each time, it kind of reminded me of India and Pakistan when you'd see them on the border there peacocking. They'd strut up to the fucking border, and then another one would strut up to the borderline. Anybody who's seen those videos knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, last time I heard they were almost at the brink of war. I think Trump might have negotiated a peace, though. I haven't really been paying too close attention to the news, but from what I've seen, Trump, he's traveling around negotiating peace all across the world. Last time I saw, he was over there in the Middle East negotiating some sort of peace deal, getting all sorts of money from these fuckers over there. I think it was Qatar pledging fucking billions, or was it trillions? I forget. It might be a little over $1 trillion. Qatar pledged. Saudi Arabia pledged several billion, several hundred billion. I think it's 500 billion. Yeah, he's out there cutting deals. And at the same time, kind of giving Israel the cold shoulder. But at the same time, implementing anti-Semitism laws. Yeah, a lot of this shit don't make sense. Yeah, but other world leaders could follow a page out of Trump's playbook. I know that. Especially those fucking leaders over there in the EU. Yeah, they all went viral here recently when they all got caught snorting coke. You see that one? Keir Starmer, Macron, another one of these fuckers. They're all sitting around a table, and there was a fucking baggie of coke there, and a fucking coke spoon just sitting there right there in plain sight. I think it was Macron. He sits down and just kind of grabs the baggie of coke real quick. And it's like that. It's all out of the news. Like, that's a huge scandal. We got fucking world leaders all sitting around doing drugs and shit. And anybody who's seen Zelensky knows that motherfucker's coked out of his fucking mind. Yeah, this is the reason why they don't get along with Trump. Yeah, Trump's not going to sit around at the table doing bumps of coke with them.
Yeah, and meanwhile, they're all plotting war. Instead of taking all those bumps of cocaine, instead, they should just bust out the bong and start smoking some pot. Roll some doobies. There you go. That'll put you in a proper state of mind. Yo, smoking that shit. You know what? Why are we all fighting? Can't we all just get along? Yeah, there you go. There's a reason why they're all fucking about war and violence and chaos. They're all on fucking coke when they should be smoking weed. Yeah, if there's one thing that'll chill you out more than anything is smoking a little bit of weed. You feel like you're gonna start a revolution. You say you want a revolution. Well, you gotta put down the herb. Yeah, anybody who's smoking pot isn't gonna be out there causing any sort of trouble. You're just too couch locked. I can't get up and go to war. I'm just chilling right now. Yeah. Sometimes you can go too far in the direction. Like I think marijuana should have just been left as a medical thing rather than being blanket legalized all across the board. Well, I mean, there are some states in which it's still not legal. Some of the more conservative states. I hear a lot of these states are starting to pass anti-porn bills where they're wanting to have you present some sort of a proof of ID or at least click on a button and say that you're over the age of 18. I don't know the logistics of it or the details, but I hear there are some states that are attempting to implement these types of anti-porn bills. Yeah, we'll see how that goes if it ultimately gets struck down at the Supreme Court level. Yeah, the Supreme Court's so fucking unpredictable. Like I heard that they ruled against Trump here recently, overwhelmingly, like 7-2, to allow our country to be overrun by illegal immigrants. Now here's the ultimate test of whether or not Trump's going to be a fucking dickless cuck or not. Is he just going to listen to the Supreme Court and allow our nation's sovereignty to go to shit? Or is he going to defy the court and say, you know what, fuck you guys, we're going to deport these illegals anyway? This is going to be the true test of Trump's character. The true test whether or not he's a weak, dickless piece of controlled opposition. This will be the true litmus test. That and whether or not he eventually dissolves the Fed, the Federal Reserve. By the end of Trump's 4 years in office, if the Federal Reserve still stands, we'll know whether or not Trump was controlled opposition in the end. Yeah. Stupid fucking bills being introduced all over the place. I heard they got a reparations bill that they tried to introduce here. Reparations. And it's like trillions of dollars. They want to give back trillions of dollars to black people. I'm sure it won't pass, but what if it did? Like, goddamn, this country's in debt enough as is. Now we're going to give black people a bunch of money? Well, if the reparations bill ultimately happens, well, what I'm going to do is put all of my money in KFC stock. That's what I'll do. KFC and Popeye's chicken. Dump all the money into those two stocks. There you go. And malt liquor. Let's not forget about malt liquor. Oh, yeah, that's some good coffee. We're just sipping coffee and chilling, talking about the reparations bill. Trillions of dollars. Like, really? You give black people trillions of dollars, they're just going to blow it on useless, stupid shit. Escalades, Air Jordans, jewelry. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very short-term bump in the economy. Let's put it that way. Yeah, people are starting to have what's called black fatigue. Yeah, I'm telling you, black fatigue. It truly started once BLM popped onto the scene, started running roughshod all over the American people, burning down the cities and shit. all because George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. Yeah, black fatigue. That was the beginning right there when BLM popped onto the scene. BL fucking M. Boy, I'm telling you, BLM set back race relations probably 60 years. Oh, fucking real. Yeah, I hear one of these prominent BLM people got busted here recently, trying to proposition children. Yeah, like Chris Hansen, that guy that used to do that show, To Catch a Predator. I guess he caught this BLM pedophile. Caught him in the fucking act, and it was all filmed and everything.
Please, dude, I said no. Literally have the sex trafficking line.
Get up. Get up.
My
We're not
phone.
talking. Get up.
I'm not trying to anyone, please. I literally said no. Can you grab my shoe?
Move.
So this BLMer's denying anything.
35-year-old Aston Mack, BLM activist, worked with challenged children in Orlando, claimed to me that he had the sex trafficking hotline number on his phone in his pocket, was just going to help this girl out. But the texts tell a very different story.
Yeah, them fucking child sex predators are out there everywhere. It's not just BLM. I hear over there in Germany that there was this child rapist, and this is like a brutal child rapist, had raped fucking several children, like a serial child rapist over there in Germany. And his trial came up. And guess what this fucking German child rapist did? He trooned out. Yep, he declared that he was trans. And after that, I think they just had to give him probation. I think they had to give him a way more lenient sentence, all because he trooned out. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, what is it with these trans people and being child predators? Seems like it all kind of goes hand in hand. Nerdy Vulgarian says they were forced to work and were not paid. I assume you're talking about the blacks. Now they do not work, and we are forced to pay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it reminds me of the ultimate plan that they had over there in Europe to completely flood Europe with the third world to replace white people with all of these fucking savages, with the ultimate goal to replenish the workforce with a group of peoples with a population or with an IQ that averaged around 90. That way they'll be just smart enough to work, but not smart enough to try to, get uppity at all. Yeah, but the joke's on them. These fucking migrants they all imported, none of them are working, and they all have IQs that are less than 70. Fuck. Yeah, we're talking about importing sub-Saharan Africa, the Muslim countries, the ones where incest amongst their cousins is normalized. Yeah, you're going to get an average IQ of around 65, 70, if that. Yeah, the fucking social engineers overplayed their hand with that one. They really did. Yeah, in Germany, a fucking child rapist trooned out, and then he got a more lenient sentence because of it. Oh, I tell you, if Adolf Hitler was to see what was going on today with Germany, fuck. Well, let's just say if they could harness some sort of a perpetual motion device, they can power the whole fucking thing. With Hitler spinning in his fucking grave! I know, right? Yeah, I've told that joke before. But it never gets old. Yeah. I'm telling you, something happened along the way here where a generation just got completely fucking ruined. I blame mostly boomers. But, yeah, the social engineers are also to blame. The media, all of the shitty entertainment. You take it all together, throw it in a cocktail, blend it up. It's what helped lead to the decline of Western civilization. Yeah, one of the worst pieces of black hat social engineering ever fucking created. SpongeBob SquarePants. Yep. SpongeBob SquarePants. Like Big Daddy, SpongeBob ain't that bad. Like, really? I am old enough to remember when SpongeBob SquarePants first popped onto the scene. You want to know what the biggest concern amongst parents was? That SpongeBob was going to turn the kids gay. Yep. Watching SpongeBob was going to turn the kids gay. Because SpongeBob is obviously a homosexual character. Anybody who's not stupid can look at that and, I guess, this is obviously a homosexual character. A homosexual archetype, if you will. And now look at what happened 20 fucking years later. All of the kids are gay. It all started with SpongeBob, I'm telling you. The generation that was raised on Transformer, G.I. Joe, Voltron, He-Man, that was a much more fucking dialed in hardcore generation than the generation that was raised on SpongeBob fucking SquarePants. Let's put it that way. Yeah, black hat social engineering at its fucking finest. Why are all the kids gay now? Why does the majority of Generation Z identify as gay? I wonder. It's because they were raised on SpongeBob. That's why. It's not the singular reason, but you get my point. You get my fucking point. But mostly I blame parents. Terrible fucking parents who put their kids in front of that shit. Yeah, those parents, they should have had the wherewithal to take VHS tapes and VCRs and record a lot of those old shows from back in the day. That way they could have showed their kids now instead of having them be poisoned with modern culture, modern pop culture. Just imagine being brought up today on Disney Star Wars and not even knowing what old school Star Wars was. Yeah, you're obviously going to raise a generation of weak fucking degenerates who are going to be either gay or want to chop off their fucking genitals. Well, fucking real. Yeah, the Reddit generation, that's the fucking generation that was raised on SpongeBob right there. I hear one of these Redditors decided to engage in an act of terror. You want to know what this Redditor decided to target? A fucking fertility clinic. Yep. You hear about the people trying to bomb abortion clinics. Well, this Redditor targeted a fertility clinic, a place that helps women with their fertility, I guess. And there was 0 casualties except for himself. Yep, he killed himself. Nobody else. Boy, how fucking ironic is that? A Reddit terrorist, and he just completely fails at his task. He was probably missing part of his brain, too. Yeah, that's actually a thing with Redditors. A lot of them are missing parts of their brain. Yeah, that was a meme for a while. Somebody on Reddit showed a CAT scan or an x-ray of his brain, how he had part of his brain missing. And all of a sudden, it started a huge thread where all these Redditors started showing pictures of their missing brain. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. And they all have one thing in common. Leftists. Yep. Missing parts of your brain goes hand in hand with leftist politics. It really does. Yeah. Well, I feel sorry for the kids nowadays. They don't know reading, writing, arithmetic, but they know what gay people are. They know what trans people are. They have no idea what their genders are. I wonder if they still do the GATE program. Any old school motherfuckers that were in the American education system remember the GATE program. Some of you might have even went through it. Yeah, it was that program where they had the kids that were a little bit smarter than the other kids go, and they would go do, I don't know what they would do exactly, other stuff besides regular classroom stuff. Yeah, I heard that the GATE program was actually a CIA psyop where they were trying to find gifted kids that they could possibly recruit into the government. I wouldn't be in the least bit surprised if that was real. Yeah, I remember back in the day, they wanted to put me into the GATE program. Yeah, they took me aside. They had me do all these tests and shit. And boy, they really, really wanted me in that GATE program. But I turned them down. I didn't want nothing to do with it. And there was one main reason why I wanted nothing to do with the gate program. It was because of the person that was running it. This guy that went by the name of Mr. Steinberg. Now, I was a little kid. I had no idea what Jews were or anything about that. All I knew was Mr. Steinberg, I didn't think he was a human, to be honest. I thought he was some sort of a demon. I swear to God, I thought he was like a demon masquerading as a human because he didn't look human. Anybody who's seen the meme, you know, the Jew meme where he's like rubbing his hands together. Imagine that meme multiplied by 100. That was Mr. Steinberg. And it was like, I don't want to be anywhere near this fucking guy. I don't know what it, like, something told me instinctively, whoever this Mr. Steinberg is, I don't want nothing to do with him. Like, I could almost smell him. Like, he's just something like his spirit. I could smell his spirit. Like, his spirit smelled like rancid fucking meat. Like, I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But that was the reason why I wanted nothing to do with the gate program, because Mr. Steinberg ran it. And then later on, I find out what Jews are, what they're all about. And you know what? My instincts were fucking dialed in. My instincts were fucking right. They were fucking right. Always trust your gut. Always trust your instincts. Yeah, I fucking knew then. But I couldn't quite put my finger on it because I didn't learn. But once you learn, then you fucking know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Kid raised on SpongeBob SquarePants wouldn't have been able to see through that shit. Yeah, he probably would have went through the gate program. Yeah, the whole thing was a government psyop. I'm sure it was. Try to find useful tools that they could use later on. But kids are so fucking stupid nowadays, I doubt they even do the gate program. I seriously doubt it. Like, we don't need the gate program. We've got enough people. We need to train the kids to chop off the genitals now. Yes, gay, trans, LBGT, fucking blah, blah, blah. That's all the fucking shit they teach in schools nowadays, along with Common Core education. Let's kill off their sense of critical thinking. Critical race theory. Let's teach all the white kids to hate themselves. And then you see all of these fucking black kids attacking white kids in school. And you wonder where it's all coming from. Maybe it's because that's the only thing they're fucking teaching these kids. Hate. You fucking teach the kids hate. Then you see them fighting and you wonder why. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, anybody who's putting their kids in public schools nowadays, you ought to have your fucking heads examined. Really. Fucking real. Yeah, we're talking about missing pieces of your brains earlier. Nerdy Vulgarian says, speaking of missing brains, Biden has all of a sudden late stage cancer. Yeah. If he's even alive. Yeah, they just came out with that right after it was revealed that he was basically demented his whole fucking time while he was in there. It's like, really? Do we actually need a news report to tell us that Joe Biden was demented all during his fucking years as presidency? All it takes is your two fucking eyes and a functioning brain to see that. That's like saying, oh, Joe Biden wasn't a pedophile, even though all you do is see pictures of him groping and sniffing children. All of those video compilations. If that's what he does to kids when the cameras are on him, Lord only knows what he does when the cameras are off. Yeah, the fucking Democrat people willingly elected a fucking pedophile. They fucking willingly pulled the lever for that shit. It speaks volumes about your fucking character. It really does. Not just any pedophile, a demented pedophile. Yeah, no wonder why the country went to fucking shit. He wasn't running the country. He was obviously a puppet for the intelligence agencies, his handlers. Yeah, good fucking riddance. Yeah, the elites, they're talking about some sort of extinction level event going to happen. The sun getting ready to act up, hit us with another fucking X-class solar flare. Something will happen. They'll make the Carrington event look like a fucking episode of Sesame Street. Like that. Boom. 90% of the population dead from the resulting aftermath and chaos. Because nobody knows how to grow their own food. Nobody knows how to hunt. Once these cities run out of food, it's going to be like The Walking Dead, but in real life. zombies in real life, people just eating each other. The resulting chaos from an X-class solar flare will end up with 90% population loss. And they know it. They're just going to ride it out underground in their bunkers. Dumbs, they call them. Dumbs. Dum, da, dum, dum, dum. Stands for Deep Underground Military Base. Yeah, they got them all over the place, and they plan to ride out the end of days in their little bunkers. Yeah, people, if they're hungry enough and they got shovels, they'll be able to dig down there. Ain't no place going to be safe if people are hungry enough. Yeah, there's all sorts of lore and legend about these Dumbs deep underground military bases. One of my favorite legends about a deep underground military base is the legend of Dulce, the Battle of Dulce in New Mexico. Made famous by a man called Phil Schneider, who took part in that battle. Yeah, it all goes back to the Eisenhower Agreement. During the time of Eisenhower, when these aliens came and we cut a deal with them, human abductions in exchange for technology. We also like help them out and build bases for them and like do joint projects together. And one of these bases was in Dulce, New Mexico, and they fucking drilled down there and they had a battle with these aliens and they end up liberating a bunch of humans. They were performing all sorts of horrific experiments on them. Supposedly it had like 7 different levels, and each level you went down, like shit would get more nightmarish. And eventually you hit the place called Nightmare Hall, where they had like the most horrific experiments going on. Human chimera hybrids, shit like that. Yeah, Phil Schneider. One thing that lends it a lot of credence and credibility is the fact that Phil Schneider was saying that, hey, I'm not fucking suicidal or whatever. And then like that, he commits suicide after spilling the beans on all this shit. Supposedly strangles himself with his catheter. Like, Jesus Christ, of all the ways to go. But if you wanted to like immortalize yourself as a legend and make all of your stories seem true, that would be the way to do it. Tell everybody you don't want to commit suicide, but then actually do it in the most painful way possible. That like seems obvious as fuck that you were murdered. Phil Schneider. Yeah, but whether or not the Battle of Dulce was real or not, I have zero doubt that there are these deep underground military bases all across, not just the United States, but all across planet Earth. And some of them are inhabited by otherworldly entities. Let's put it that way. Working hand in hand with these fucking things. They use humans as tools to inflict pain upon their fellow man. Yeah, conspiracies, paranormal. Well, I heard about this new conspiracy that's popping on to the scene here recently. That's been flooding my my Twitter feed. Have you guys heard of Tartaria? The Tartaria conspiracy. Tartaria, like Tartaria. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, apparently there's this conspiracy that there was this vast, like powerful civilization called Tartaria, and it was systematically erased from the map by the powers that be because they wanted to control history and not let us know about it because various reasons. The chief reason being that the Tartarians had mastered free energy and they didn't want us knowing about free energy. So the whole lore behind it is like you see all of these vast like cathedral-like buildings that look like they're built by hands not human, like this like Roman architecture. Like they're saying that that was actually built by the Tartarians, and they were all erased from history. Like all of the architecture you see over there in Washington D.C., like all of those monuments and stuff, and they say those are all Tartarian monuments. And the same with all of those old world architecture over there in Europe. Like, oh, the Tartarians built that. Like, really? So then I don't know, I did a little I wasn't a huge deep dive, but I was just trying to figure out the whole the crux of this whole Tartarian thing, and just kind of trying to figure it out, wrap my mind around it. And apparently, like you look at old maps from back in the day, there are areas on old maps, and they span from Mongolia all the way up into some parts of America, and it's called Tartaria or Tartary. I forget, one of the two. Tartartai. No, I forget. I can't think of it right now. Tartaria. Tartar. Tartar. Aria. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, if you haven't heard of that conspiracy, and if you're a fan of conspiracy related bullshit, look into that one. And I thought there might be something to it at first, but here's where the whole Tartaria thing falls apart for me. What about the Tartarian people? Like, they just allowed themselves to be overthrown by a bunch of savages? Because supposedly all of the people from the old world waged war with the Tartarians and killed them all and took all of their architecture over. Like when we came over here to Americas, all of the white settlers and Europeans and Columbus and all them, supposedly all of this Tartarian cities were here when we got here. And the white man waged war with them and then killed them and took over their cities. And it's like, okay, this is supposed to be an extremely advanced civilization, but they had a weak military. Their military was so weak they allowed savages to take them over. Really? No, but here's the kicker, though. Here's why I don't believe it's real. It's because they said what they did to the native Tartarian people was they enslaved them and turned them into slaves. And they say that the whole myth about the African slave trade isn't real. Like most of the slaves, the black people, were actually the Tartarians. Like, what? You're telling me black people created all of these advanced buildings and were responsible for all of the world's like most advanced architecture? Black people, really? And that's where they lose me right there. I don't believe black people were that advanced. We're advanced enough to create all of those cathedrals and all of that advanced architecture. Like, really? The same people that live in mud huts over in Africa? Really? Like, no, the real black people. Like, and they also say it was the Native Americans too, not just black people, but Native Americans. And it's like, it don't make no sense. It really don't. But what makes a little bit more sense is, well, when you see where the Tartarian Empire first began, it was over there in Mongolia. Anybody who's a true student of history knows Mongolians during the time of Genghis Khan were called the Tartars. Tartar, Tartars. And the reason why they were called the Tartars, it came from the root word Tartarus. Tartarus was like the Greek term for hell or something like that, because these warriors were so fucking scary that they were considered from hell itself, from Tartarus. So they were called the Tartars. So when you see these old ass maps and they just have this area called Tartaria or whatever, they're probably just referring to the Mongolians, who all of the Europeans just referred to as the Tartars. Like, I haven't seen a single person bring that up, though. Like, oh no, these Tartarians were real people or whatever. And all of this old world architecture, well, we had a little thing called slave labor back then. If you have a thing called slave labor, you're capable of a lot more than what you're capable of now. Let's put it that way. Yeah, the Romans, all those fucking old civilizations, they had a little thing called slave labor. Yeah, I seriously doubt Tartaria was real. What it sounds like is flat Earth. Like something that was whipped up as a psyop by the intelligence agencies just to get people to chase their tails. When you got the real juicy ones sitting out there in the open, you know, things like CERN, HARP, chemtrails, that kind of shit. But people are chasing their tail, looking at Tartaria, flat Earth shit. That's what I got a feeling this Tartaria stuff is. Because anytime you look deeply enough, you'll find out like one of the cruxes of it is like that black people were part of the Tartarian culture. It's like, that don't make no sense. Don't make no damn sense. I absolutely refuse to believe that black people were the most advanced civilization that ever lived. It just sounds like bullshit. Yeah, Tartaria had a really advanced civilization, but a weak military that allowed themselves to get rolled over. Like, yeah, right, whatever. Yeah, I have a little doubt it's a psyop. Probably cooked up by the intelligence agencies, too. This doesn't seem like an organic psyop. It doesn't. Yeah, but if Tartaria was real, the Count of Saint Germain probably would know about it. The Count of Saint Germain. Yeah, that's another conspiracy right there. Supposedly there was this dude called the Count of Saint Germain. Now what would happen is the aristocrats in Europe, they would be having a party, and these aristocrats would be all young in their 20s and 30s, and this guy would show up to the party, the Count of Saint Germain, and he would become the life of the party. Like literally, like he could talk about anything and talk for hours. He knew everything. He was a master alchemist. I mean, he was basically a Renaissance man before the metaphorical Renaissance man of his time. Let's put it that way. And anyway, these aristocrats in their 20s and 30s would having parties with the Count of Saint Germain. All of a sudden, they would get together again in their 60s and 70s and have another party. And then the Count of Saint Germain would show up again. But he would look exactly the same as when they saw him when they were young. And he wouldn't have aged a single fucking year. So they think that this Count of Saint Germain, it was like some sort of, they think maybe a vampire, maybe he was an immortal, but he's actually been documented in history. Like this is an actual documented person, and basically the timeline doesn't match up. He would be way too old, let's put it that way, to actually live that long. Yeah, I talked about this show before called Metaphysical, where they have teams of remote viewers look at various conspiracy, paranormal related things. And I saw the episode of Metaphysical where the team of remote viewers actually looked at this character, the Count of Saint Germain, to see if he was a real character, see what the fuck was going on with him. And I guess every one of the remote viewers came back as a positive. Whoever this Count of Saint Germain was, he was an immortal. And this was just the tip of the iceberg. I guess he's part of, turns out there's an entire society of immortals. And they live underground. And that's how they stay safe. But the Count of Saint Germain, he kind of went off reservation and started interacting with people and going to parties and shit when he should not have. And he put these people on the radar or whatever, because basically he was still like a young immortal at the time. Like now he's like underground, I guess. He's like with his people. And once they reach a certain level of maturity, they just stay underground where it's safe. But part of his lore is that he was a master alchemist. He was like a master of alchemy. And I guess this is how these fucking people stay alive. It's through an alchemical process. They call it the elixir of life. But part of it is like the harvesting of human blood, and that is part of the alchemical process. So they're almost like vampires. So through the use of alchemy and the elixir of life, you can actually, as a physical human, maintain a degree of immortality, I guess. And you see a guy like Henry Kissinger. He like fucking basically hasn't aged at all since the 1960s. And you have to ask yourself, maybe he's one of these fucking immortals. You got nothing but time to kill. You fucking, I'm sure there are some of them got bad agendas, dark agendas. Yeah, some say remote viewing is a pseudoscience. It's not to be believed, but if it was all bullshit, then why did the CIA fund it for so many years? Anybody familiar with remote viewing knows if you do the blind method and you have multiple remote viewers doing it and they all come back with the same fucking thing, you could pretty much write that shit in stone. Yeah, the blind method, that's when they don't know what they're looking at. They're looking at a target number, like you have a sequence of like 6 or 8 numbers, and those numbers are associated with the target that's written down on a piece of paper. Because if they know what the target is, then you can have what's called analytical overlay. Sometimes your imagination starts playing tricks on you and you start seeing shit that's not really there. But if you do a blind method, then that basically cuts out all of the analytical overlay. Yeah, another interesting thing that that team of remote viewers looked at was the butterfly people of Joplin incident. The butterfly people of Joplin. Now, this happened not too long ago over there in Joplin, Missouri, in the United States of America. There was this tornado. Like this was like a fucking, like something out of a movie, Twister level fucking F5 tornado. And it came through the town of Joplin, Missouri. And it caused so much destruction, killed a shitload of people. But there was all sorts of tales of children having these encounters with these butterfly people. And what they would do is these butterfly people would show themselves to the children right when the tornado was coming, and they would basically save the lives of the children. The tornado would like magically go around them. They would like get flung fucking hundreds of feet in the air in a car, but like they'd be completely unscathed, and there'd be like a little butterfly person there. And there was like whole shitloads of incidents of this happening with these little butterfly people. Just imagine a little tiny person, kind of like the size of a GI Joe, but with butterfly wings. And they would show up and they would perform miracles and they would save the children. And all of the children, well, there was like a huge news special on it, and like this was actually a real thing. You could look this up. But the team of remote viewers, they looked at that incident, the butterfly people of Joplin, and I guess what they said was all of these butterfly people they weren't separate things, but they were all the same thing. They came from what we call the source, God. And what it did was it manifested itself in a form that the children could understand and that they would always remember. And it wanted to create a positive memory for the children. So that's how it manifested itself when it decided to intervene to save their lives in the form of these little butterfly people. That way they would always have this loving, positive memory of them that way. But whatever it was, it basically was God intervening. And they said what happened with that storm was this was not a normal storm. Like there are some storms that are spoken of like in legend and myth, like they have like malevolence behind them, like they were like conjured of sorts. And they say that this particular tornado was a malevolent tornado that was conjured for the purpose of causing death and destruction. They believe that was the reason why the source decided to intervene and save the children. Yeah, because apparently of all the things that you can do, nothing like it angers God more than when you harm children, I guess. Because they are the most innocent among us. The ones who can't defend themselves. This is why abortion is so evil, because it's like the most darkest form of evil you can commit against children. So powerless. So evil. So dark. And your average Western female has had about fucking 12 abortions. So fucking real. No wonder why they're so fucking demonic. Yeah, there's a darkness. Darkness taking over the world. Gotta maintain your light within the darkness, though. Not give in to all that evil shit. Like if you're at a Diddy party, you see some shit going down, get the fuck out of there. well, not a Diddy party, but you know what I mean. If you're in a situation in a bad place and your instincts fucking tell you it's wrong, sometimes you gotta trust your instincts. Yeah, boy. Speaking of Diddy, I heard that he's got his trial going on. All sorts of fucking bad shit's coming out about Diddy now. Yeah, it's not looking good. Yeah, unless Diddy starts fucking rolling over on people, he's gonna be looking at 25 to life. Judge gave me 25 to life. Yeah, for fucking real. I mean, he should be in on fucking death row for the fucking shit he did. I have zero doubt that that he orchestrated the death of Biggie Smalls. I have zero doubt about that. He might have even orchestrated the death of Tupac, but for sure he killed Biggie. Yeah, Biggie Smalls, he was real too. Like, he wasn't one of these fake gay gangsters. Like, Biggie Smalls literally sold fucking crack up until he got his first fucking coke deal, or first record deal. Yeah, poor Biggie. If only he knew what was going to happen. Like, Biggie, get out of there. Diddy, he gonna kill your ass and create a gay hip hop empire. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, Diddy's bodyguard, Big Homie, came forward here recently on the Pierce Morgan show and started spilling the beans, started spilling the tea.
Homie, there's a lot of speculation about what he may have kept on tape. And I think you've talked about the fact a lot of these guys like to keep trophies, memorabilia, you know, sort of
absolutely
souvenirs of their depravity, if you like. Just tell me about that briefly. I mean, was that part of the modus operandi for the freak-offs and everything?
Yeah, so what I'll say is throughout my career path, we may end up with a pedophile's phone. And in that phone, you'll see a list of trophies. And when it was announced that he had CCTV film cameras in the house, and when the Homeland Security did the initial raid, they didn't inform the raiding officers whose home they were raiding because they had information that he might have been protected. And, you know, part of Epstein's thing was to get people in precarious situations, and then you have this footage that you can use against them to be able to have your way with champions of industry, and able to control policy. He does the same thing. So, you know, if you want to be able to seal a big deal, and there's a guy you know likes to party, it's easy to set that up. You know, you send a guy a screenshot like, yeah, man, you had such a good time with those two underage girls yesterday, man. You remember this video right here? That person is going to have some incentive to help you out in what you need them to do. It's the same. We've seen this over and over.
Deep State, they got all that blackmail now. Whoa, no. Whoa, no. Whoa, no. Whoa, whoa. The Deep State, they got me blackmailed with the Diddy tape. The Deep State, they got me blackmailed with the Diddy tape. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, no wonder why all those fucking celebrities came out and started endorsing Kamala Harris right after Diddy got busted. Now, some of them were actually paid off millions of dollars. Kamala Harris's campaign, give people like Beyonce a couple million for a concert, Megan Thee Stallion, thinking people are going to see these celebrities and thinking they're all that. Oh my God, Beyonce, she's pro Kamala, so I love Kamala too. That's Democrat thinking for you right there. Yeah, everybody who went to those Diddy parties that he had all that blackmail on, Diddy don't got that blackmail anymore. The Deep State, they got that blackmail. Boy, if you thought Diddy had you by the balls, shit. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the aftermath of the Diddy trial, see all who goes to jail and whatnot. Yeah, anybody familiar with Diddy lore knows that Diddy, he actually had this male sex slave who was a gay porn star or something like that, and he was trying to shoot up. I think it was a Trump Tower, a Trump hotel, something like that, and he got arrested. And he was telling the cops like that he was P Diddy's sex slave and this, and that, and it just sounded so insane and crazy. But then after we find out about Diddy and all that, now we know whatever that fucking insane fucking dude said was probably real. P Diddy's sex slave running around shooting up a Trump Tower. It fucking happened. It really did. The deep state. They got me blackmailed with the Diddy tape. All right. It's been a while since I looked at the chat. Let's go and look at the chat again. Nerdy Bulgarian says Steven Spielberg was doing his speech and debate preparations and coaching him. Joe Biden. Nerdscape in the chat. Welcome. They were tall, apparently. Maybe referring to the Tartarians. Never heard that. Thought they were Ruskies. Yeah, they might have been. I mean, there was places on the map called Tartaria. But like I said, the Europeans referred to the Mongols as Tartars because of the root word Tartarus, because they were so hellish in combat. Like it was facing a horde of demons, basically. That's what earned them that name. Mongols, yeah, they didn't fuck around. Nerdy Bulgarian says, Joplin butterfly people is a legendary story. I was thinking angels, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess they came from the source, from God, so I guess you could say they were angels. Tiny little angels. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are now affirming Jeffrey Epstein was a certain self-erasure, and they know it. Yeah. I heard that too. I'm like, if ever there is a litmus test to find out whether or not somebody is on the fucking level, that's the test right there. Ask them whether or not Jeffrey Epstein actually killed himself. Yeah, there are varying levels of conspiracy theorists out there. There's the normie that believe the narrative. Yeah, he killed himself, whatever. Then there's the next level of conspiracy. Like, oh no, obviously he didn't kill himself. They murdered him. They obviously murdered him. And then there's the highest level conspiracy. No, he's not fucking dead. They faked his death. He's well alive, sipping Mai Tais on a beach in Tel Aviv. That's probably where that motherfucker is. And that's like that. You can tell a person's intelligence level by what answer they are. And if their answer is, he killed himself, you know you're dealing with a fucking normie. Or somebody who's part of the whole thing and they're just trying to cover it up. And since this guy is the FBI director and Bongino is in another high position of power, yeah. Controlled opposition. That's what these fuckers are. Controlled opposition. Unless he's just saying it to maintain a cover. Like, yeah, obviously he killed himself. But the reality is, like, there's an investigation going on behind the scenes to find Epstein and capture him again. Like, that would be the only reason I would lie about that shit. Just to throw off the Mossad and anybody that might be aware that you know that he's still alive. Just plain dumb. Like, I would actually respect that, but you know that's not the case. Republicans are so weak. They're so stupid. The greatest weakness of Republicans is weakness. Always fucking has been. Yeah, what can you do? Whisper words of wisdom and let it be. Yeah, we've hit the 1 hour mark. You know what, guys? I think we're We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back and rip the mic and rant and rave a little bit more. Yep. All right, guys, we're going to take a little break. Go get yourself a drink, go to the bathroom, get yourself a smoke, make yourself a sandwich, or you get to sit here and chill and listen to the tunes. We'll be back in a little bit.
Creature, feature, preacher, sing. Darkness in my dreams. Smoke screen serenade. Bad mind just don't play. I'm feeling forever strained. Heartstrings all in fray. Stone cold renegade. A stone cold renegade. Stone cold renegade. Blood stained in the shade.
There's a man they call Big Daddy, a legend in these parts. He rides through the darkness, fire burning in his heart. With his words like bullets, he brings justice to the night. He's a true gangster of love, fighting for what's right. People say he's a bandit, the most wanted in the land. But they don't know the story, they don't understand. His words are pure truth, they cut through like a knife. Big Daddy's got the power to change the wrongs to right.
A stone cold renegade. Blood stained in the shade.
All right, and we're back. Yeah. Talked about quite a bit of things earlier. World leaders snorting coke, Trump negotiating peace, SpongeBob SquarePants ruining a generation of kids. Yeah, kids nowadays, they're just simply attached to their fucking screens. Slaves to their masters, their screen masters. The kids don't go outside and play anymore. You look at your average playground, it's about the same as looking at a McDonald's playground. The downgrade is just so severe. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, fucking dad would get me a motorbike, a fucking motorcycle, and then just let me drive it. Zero instruction on how to drive it at all. So, you know, here you go. A very, very dangerous vehicle you could fucking kill yourself on. Here, as long as you're wearing the helmet, you'll be fine. Yeah, kids, I doubt parents do that with their kids nowadays. Instead of buying the kid a motorbike, no, they'll just put a fucking tablet in front of them. Here you go. We'll let Mr. Beast raise you. Boy, it was fun back in the day being a kid. Yeah, I remember what it was like being a kid. Yeah, I can relate to that. I had my fair share of crashes. It's a miracle I didn't fucking kill myself back in the day. Yeah, kids. Nowadays, they're all just fat and trans. Boy, that would be a real good premise for a movie. You take like a 90s bully who gets frozen in time, and then he gets brought to the modern day with trans kids and BLM and wokeness. Boy, you talk about a good premise. Almost as good as my premise I talked about on my last show about the Big Daddy Isekai, where it's like a pure self-insert, and the name of it is the world's biggest misogynist goes to a future where the earth is ruled by giant evil Amazonian superwomen. Yeah, it would probably be almost as good as that. A 90s bully gets frozen in time and comes to the future. We're in a world full of trans kids and wokeness and BLM. Yeah, there you go. I'd fucking watch that. A Netflix special. Like, oh no, if Netflix is handling it, it's gonna ruin it. It's gonna be woke. Yeah, kids. I'm telling you, with the amount of shit they're putting in the food, the amount of trash that's on the television, the amount of trash that's on their fucking phone screens, it's no wonder the kids are all fat, gay, and trans. Hopefully, RFK Jr. can get on that shit. He's supposed to be like I forget the health czar. I forget exactly, but he's supposed to be like in charge of getting the kids in America healthy again, doing something about those damn jabs, doing something about all the poisons they're putting in the food. Yeah. Oh, breaking news, folks. It looks like RFK Jr. is making a statement about the children of America. Let's go and watch that breaking news.
I'm declaring war on fat gay kids, not the kids themselves, but on whatever's making them so fat, gay, and pathetic. I'm talking seed oils, SSRIs, MSNBC, and perverts masquerading as teachers and guidance counselors. Sorry, but as an educator, you can't show off your extensive collection of marital aids anymore, okay? America isn't a dance school, a video game competition, or an OnlyFans academy. It's a country. And with the help of President Trump, we'll be focusing on eliminating the things in our society that are turning our kids into effeminate weirdos and skanks.
Yeah, there you go. Get back on track. We don't losing our way. Get America back on track. Hopefully it happens. Probably won't, but you never know. That was totally a real press conference, too, not a deep fake. Totally real. Yeah. Kids are too fat and gay nowadays. How are they supposed to handle the next series of wars? What if we got to go to war with China? I don't think we got to worry about China. Like feminism might have hit the West with a 9-pound hammer, but boy, feminism, it hit China over the head with an anvil. Yeah, nobody's having families over there in China anymore. And they say they actually inflate their population numbers. There's not actually a couple billion Chinese. The number's actually closer to like 600,000, maybe 800,000 at the most. Because of the way Chinese are, they like to lie and inflate shit. Yeah, they can have 3 kids now. They lifted that from the one-child policy. Having that one-child policy, caused all of these families to abort their girl babies, have a bunch of boys, so there's a huge imbalance, men and women there. And then feminism came along, and all of these Chinese bitches, they want themselves a Chad and a Tyrone. And your average Chinese man, like working as a slave, is still not going to be able to be good enough. Yeah, if you think these Western thoughts are entitled, fuck, you should see the list of demands your average Chinese bitch wants before she'll marry a dude. Literally, it's impossible. And even if you are capable of buying a house or an apartment or whatever, a lot of these stinky little cheap apartments, they're so fucking expensive, and you will never be able to truly own them outright, because you can't own property in China. You can just lease it for like 60 years from the fucking Communist Party. Yeah, it basically kills any sort of incentive. I can see why the entire next generation of Chinese kids are saying, fuck it, let it rot. That's literally their saying for the whole thing, let it rot. There's a certain saying for it in Mandarin. Yeah, but the kids have given up on the system. They'd rather just sit around on their phones and play video games than work like slaves as part of the communist society. Yeah, we don't have to worry about going to war with China. It already defeated itself. Feminism defeated it already. Yeah, what the hell's going on out there in the world of pop culture? Yeah, I hear that Ironheart is going to come out. That Ironheart movie, based upon the comic book, the follow-up to Iron Man. But instead of having Tony Stark in the iconic role, it's going to have Riri Williams. Riri Williams. Yep, Riri Williams. Who the hell is Riri Williams? I know, right? Unless you're a comic book fan of Marvel slop, you're probably not going to know who that stupid bitch is. But yeah, apparently they decided to replace Iron Man with a little black girl. Autistic little black girl named Riri Williams. Gets a hold of the schematics for Iron Man's suit, back engineers it, and makes one of her own. I think that's the official Kanan story. I don't know how they're going to go about pulling it off in the movie. If they truly wanted to play it to character, instead of having her build the Iron Man suit from scratch, instead, she steals one. She just steals one of Tony Stark's Iron Man suits and then just kind of like retrofits it for herself. I've been to be a superhero. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see just how badly that's going to bomb. Because we all know it's not going to make any fucking money. Right at the height of black fatigue, really? We're going to release the Riri Williams movie? Yeah, you talk about a movie destined to bomb. And we get to hear your boy Zach. More like your soy whack. You're going to cry about it too. Even though your boy Zach has gone on the record as like being anti Riri Williams comic books. He's going to be all about the Riri Williams movie, though. You watch. Boy, somebody ought to take an x-ray of your boy Zach's brain, see if he's missing pieces. Because if that motherfucker's not missing pieces of his brain, well, then I simply don't know what to say. I kind of have this theory that, well, think about it this way. Your boy Zach is so stupid so cheap, he's not going to hire the best lawyers. He's probably going to hire like a Dallas strip mall lawyer, like Better Call Saul style. And that's probably what he did. He got himself a really bad, cheap lawyer. And Mark Waid is not stupid. Mark Waid knows how stupid and cheap Zach is, and he probably got a bad lawyer. So when they decided to finally settle, this is what Mark Waid did. He told his lawyer to put this clause in the contract. Because he knows Richard's too stupid, and Richard's lawyer is too stupid to actually read the full thing. So what Mark Waid stealthily did was inserted language into the NDA that forces Richard, after a certain amount of time, let's just say 2 years time, to all of a sudden he has to come out and he has to be pro mainstream comics, pro mainstream everything, and he has to start shitting on the people who used to support him. And if he doesn't, he's forced to pay Mark Waid $1 million or something like that. So at some point, like Mark Waid or his lawyer got Richard on the phone and say, oh yeah, by the way, did you look at your contract? Then Richard looks at his NDA a little closely. He's like, oh no, I'm going to be sued for $1 million. Ah. So then all of a sudden, he starts going on this crusade against all of the people that used to support him. He starts like being pro mainstream, just the most trash mainstream slop possible. And whereas it all never made sense before, now it makes full sense. It was a brilliant play by Mark Waid. That would be funny if that was the case, but it's probably not. Richard is just a fucking retard. That's probably the case. A retard who's so deep in the closet, he's playing hopscotch with Mr. Tumnus in Narnia, along with Ethan. That's how deep in the closet that motherfucker is. Oh, fucking real. Yeah, Riri Williams coming at the height of Black Fatigue. Yeah, that is a movie destined to fail. Oh, fucking real. Karskin says, the only good Marvel comics to come out of recent the Warhammer 40K mini series, the coloring takes you out of it. Yeah, well, there you go. If people are into mainstream comics, the Warhammer 40K comics sounds like they might be pretty dialed in. Somebody from the Big Daddy chat recommended it. Yeah, Black Fatigue. It is real, make no mistake. Started with BLM, got further exacerbated when Austin Metcalf got murdered, and was proven when Shiloh Hendricks called the little black kid the N-word, and then had that huge GoFundMe. White America stood in solidarity with her. Like, yes, we too are sick of these fuckers. Yeah, the funny part about that whole thing, the Shiloh Hendricks incident, was that the person that was filming it was supposedly an Ethiopian pedophile. Yeah, a pedophile from Ethiopia or Somalia or something like that, I forget. Probably facilitated the immigration status over to Minnesota via Nick fucking Rekieta himself. Yeah, Nick Rekieta helped get a lot of fucking Somalis over there into Minnesota. That'd be funny if this particular Somali was one of the ones that Nick Rekieta helped get over there. But yeah, anyway, this fucking Somali was a pedophile. Boy, this goes to show how far Black America has fallen. Rather than, questioning why a pedophile was at a playground filming children, no, they instead all got mad at being called the N-word and wishing death upon Shiloh Hendricks and her poor child. Yeah, Black Fatigue is real. Make no mistake. Yeah. Thug fatigue. Somalian stink. Yeah, those poor people of Minnesota, they got to fucking deal with that shit. The same way the Canadians got to deal with the people from India. Yeah, I saw Tyra May Steele won the Legends and Future Greats contest. This is a wrestling thing. There's this show called Legends and Future Greats where they had all of these people come on and they had a little contest to see who can get a WWE contract, become the next big thing, possibly the next legend or future great. They had it for both men and women. And the black woman won, Tyra May Steele, the strong black queen, a lot of people are pissed off thinking that Xena, the white girl, should have won because she was the superior choice. And the only reason the black bitch won is because she was a former gold medalist. And WWE wanted to find themselves their female version of Kurt Angle. So basically, she was chosen on gimmick alone rather than actual like strength or anything like that, or actual ability or anything. Because when you judge them on strength or ability or anything else, any of the intangibles, the white girl was head and shoulders above and should have been chosen. Hell, she even had an injured knee and still fucking fought through it and did the final match. And at the end, like when they did the criteria, the thing that put the black girl over was the fact she was a former gold medalist. Well, she's a former gold medalist, blah, blah, blah. So they think they're going to get themselves the next Kurt Angle. No, all that's going to do is get that bitch heat when she finally gets out there. Because all of the people watching that show knows that the white girl should have won. It was all DEI. DEI. Yeah, but if WWE was smart, they would play into that. Because this is at the height of black fatigue, when black fatigue is at its highest. Like, there's a reason why Bianca Belair is getting heat, why people are booing her when they shouldn't. It's because she's black. That's the only reason. But if you come out there with a black woman and they just play into the negress stereotype, strong black woman, and this bitch, I mean, I'm telling you, she's so unlikable. She's so fucking hateable. She just has one of those faces where even I feel like I want to punch her. But yeah, you have her go out there and you have her play into that archetype. You've got yourself the biggest fucking heel in the industry right there. But WWE, they're so cucked. They're not going to do it. TKO, they're all about that money. That's the angle they should play with Tyra May Steele, but they're not going to do it. Yeah, easily one of the most hateable fucking characters to come along in a long time. They're not going to fucking take advantage of it. They'll probably try to present her as a babyface. That's how fucking stupid they are. Yeah, the blonde bitch who was head and shoulders above her, who had the injured knee, they were doing the rehearsal right before the match, and the blonde bitch actually hit her a little too hard. So what Tyra May Steele did is what she gave her was called a receipt. That's when you get them back if they accidentally hurt you. But when Tyra May gave her a receipt, what she did was she got her by her fucking injured knee and started wrenching down on her injured knee, trying to injure her even more. Like, that just goes to show how clueless that bitch is. Like, if she was to try to do that shit in the industry, boy, you talk about, boy, she'd be getting real heat for that. Because if the bitch accidentally hits you in the face, you give her a receipt back the same way. Hit her in the face. You don't try to fucking end her career. But that stupid black bitch basically tried to do that. I mean, it might have been a work or whatever, but if it was a work, it worked. Because, boy, I was not liking that bitch after seeing her do that shit. Yeah, and then all during their match, she just kept targeting the injured fucking knee, and it was just and trying to portray her as the baby face. Like, no, you got to portray this bitch as the heel. Get that fucking heat, because black fatigue is at its all-time highest right now. Got to take advantage of that shit. Yeah, but Triple H, without Vince McMahon around, like, has proven he has no fucking idea what he's doing. Like, anybody who's watched WWE this past year knows it's the worst it's been probably in over 30 years as far as the booking goes. Yeah, all Triple H knows how to do is bury people. Like, even back when he was a wrestler, like, all of the storylines, all he was doing is just burying people. And now that he's in charge of the booking and all of the storylines, he's got that golden shovel just burying everybody. Like, he literally buried all of his fucking talent this year. Roman Reigns, Cody fucking Rhodes. Like, they literally built up Roman Reigns for almost half a decade and then just fucking flushed him down the toilet afterwards. One of the damnedest things I've ever seen. Yeah, the John Cena heel turn, it was a total disappointment. And it was all because The Rock fucked it all up, I guess. Came out there, inserted himself into a storyline, and then pulled himself out. And then there was no payoff for WrestleMania. A lot of people were pissed off. And that's pretty much that. That's what exposed Triple H right there. People are finally starting to speak out. And what's happening in the WWE community now is the same thing that happened when Disney took over Star Wars and shit the bed. And all of a sudden, all these channels started cropping up all over the place, shitting on Disney Star Wars, and they started gaining popularity. So too is it with all of these channels popping up, shitting all over WWE, and they're all starting to gain popularity. Yeah, their competitor AEW. It's only going to be a matter of time until they overtake WWE. Yeah, they're going to have their metaphorical finger poke of doom moment, and they pretty much had it during WrestleMania. The thing that causes people to change the channel and look at the other product. And that's what really caused me to give AEW a second chance, started watching it, and I realized just how superior AEW is to WWE right now. Like anybody who's a fan of Attitude Era Wrestling, this is the closest thing you're ever going to get to it in the modern day, the AEW. With a lot of the feuds going on there. Just the caliber and level of wrestling is just so much more superior too. Yeah, they're doing away with the house shows too. And that's how wrestlers develop a rapport, how they can actually put on good matches. They face each other in the house shows. Those are the ones that aren't televised. That way, when they finally face each other in the televised matches, they got rapport. They can do the dance, if you know what I mean. And now they're getting rid of the house shows. So now basically Raw and SmackDown are going to be like the house shows. And then the pay-per-views are basically going to be like watered down versions of Raw and SmackDown. But they got all that fucking money coming in from all of their TV deals and shit. So it doesn't matter. They have no incentive to make the product better. But just here recently, AEW defeated NXT in the ratings. The WWE's secondary product. Yeah. If they don't bring Vince McMahon back or have some sort of change behind the scenes, I can see that fucking like how it was in the Attitude Era when people finally switched the channel and they saw that WWF was the superior product, and then they never changed the channel back, and they slowly lost the ratings war, and then like that it was over. Yeah, Triple H is shitting all over the industry. Same way Vince did to that poor woman. Yeah, one thing Vince did was he tried to maintain kayfabe no matter what. And if you broke kayfabe, boy, you would face fines. Vince would fine the fuck out of you, like $250,000. Yeah, Triple H, he broke kayfabe way back in the day. They called it the curtain call over there at Madison Square Garden when they gave Kevin Nash and Scott Hall a hug before they went off to the WCW, and Vince was pissed after that. Fucking tried punishing Triple H. Wouldn't let him rise up the card for a couple years. But now that Triple H is in charge, boy, he's shitting all over kayfabe, shitting all over the industry. Even worse than Vince did to that poor woman. Yeah, I guess WWE is going to fully bring people into the writer's room. They got this new show come out. I think they've already had one episode come out where they basically lift the curtain and show how the magic is done. And a lot of wrestlers are speaking out against this, I guess. Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he said that, well, if you go to a magic show, you don't want to see David Copperfield show you how the magic trick is done afterwards. You want to maintain a level of mystique about that. Now Triple H is like, fuck it. Yeah, shitting all over kayfabe. This is the death of kayfabe is what it is. The Rock pretty much fucking put a sword in it too. Right after WrestleMania, when people came out and started shitting all over The Rock for basically ruining WrestleMania. Instead of coming out there and finishing the storyline that he started, he just sent Travis Scott out there. Boy, nobody likes Travis Scott. Nobody. They plan to have a goddamn match where John Cena and Travis Scott team up and take on Cody Rhodes and Bad Bunny. Boy, they better scrap that fucking shit. They know it's good for them. Yeah, bad booking, burying talent, inserting celebrities into important storylines. The modern day WWE is basically the same as 2000s area WCW now. Fuck. Only difference is David Arquette was a much better champion than Cody Rhodes. Oh, fucking real. Yeah, putting Cody Rhodes into that meaningless feud with Kevin Owens for so fucking long, severely diminished his title run. I know that. But yeah, back in the day when Vince was in charge, there was a respect for kayfabe. Not just with Vince, but with everybody under his banner. Yeah, one of the most notorious instances of wrestlers not breaking kayfabe was when Bret Hart had his infamous feud with his brother Owen Hart, where Owen Hart turned on him, said that Bret Hart was overshadowing him, taken away from his glory. So you had this brother versus brother feud. And what they would do is they would maintain the rivalry even when they were not in the building, like outside of it, because they wanted to like make it as real as possible. And over there in Canada, I guess Bret Hart, he's like treated like a god basically. And back then, like he was at the height of his popularity. So what happened was Bret Hart and Owen, they were going back to Canada, driving across the border. And what happened was Border Patrol, they detained Bret Hart and they put him into a room. And they just left him there for a long ass time. And eventually, once Owen Hart, his vehicle passed the border or whatever, they stopped Owen at the border, and then they put Owen Hart in the same room as Bret. The fucking Canadian fucking Border Patrol put them both in the same room. So Bret sees Owen come in there, and they're both sitting there in the same room. And they're just quiet. They're still not breaking kayfabe no matter what. And then I forget how long passed, an hour or two. And then finally Bret broke. He kind of whispers to Owen, man, this is fucking bullshit, man. And Owen says back under his breath, yeah, I know, right? And then after that, the door bursts open, and like all of these fucking Border Patrol people come in. Like, I knew it. I knew you guys weren't really fighting with each other. Like, this is how fucking had their fucking marks were. That they truly thought that these brothers were like at each other's throat. And they wanted to like prove that they weren't fighting by like getting them together in a room and proving that they were still friendly. Yeah, that's Canadians for you. But this is how deep of a respect that they had for kayfabe back then. Yeah, they don't have that respect for kayfabe anymore. No, they'll fucking go on Twitter and fucking just diarrhea of the fucking brain and let everybody know what's going on. Like, yeah, we all know it's fucking fake. It's the same way we know that watching a fucking movie is not real. It's all about the entertainment, the immersion factor. By doing that, they kind of, well, it's just the same as David Copperfield showing you how the magic is done, basically. Yeah, Triple H, he's got no respect for the industry. That's for sure. No respect for the talent. It's painfully obvious for anybody watching. A lot of people are speaking out, though. Like I said, a lot of channels are cropping up. The same thing that happened when Disney took over Star Wars, started shitting all over it. Same thing that's happening with WWE. It became corporatized. All about that money. Money above entertaining the fans. At the end of the day, it's all about entertaining the fans. But they put the money ahead of that shit now. It's only going to be a matter of time till AEW overtakes them. Might not happen next year. Might not happen the year after. But at some point, it's going to happen. Yeah, speaking of kayfabe and drama bullshit, well, you see what's going on over there in Comicsgate right now? Jesus Christ. Yeah, a lot of fucking bullshit. Especially with Liam. A lot of Liam drama. Boy, little did we fucking know. Micah Curtis was actually a hero. Think about this. Micah Curtis this whole time was a hero. Without his tard wrangling, well, we see what happens with Liam without Micah Curtis around to tard wrangle him. He's terrorizing not only the internet, but his own fucking neighborhood. Shit. Yeah, I heard that he almost killed his neighbor here recently. Sicked his dog on his neighbor, attacked him with a 2x4. Probably going to be looking at a lawsuit. Jesus fucking Christ. Get him, boy. Neighbor's probably just coming over to have some sort of a talk, so Liam sicks his dog on him. And beats him over the fucking head with a 2x4. Ah, shit. Yeah, and people have been calling out Liam on a lot of his a lot of the stuff he said in the past. trying to take credit for doing Slimed, that book, the Scholastic book, Slimed, whose author was Liam Gray. But turns out it was just a dude named Will something who's using the Liam Gray pen name. But Liam told Dark Gift and Mike S. Miller behind the scenes that he was the author of Slimed. He's got a deal with Scholastic. So Mike S. Miller is basically like, wait a minute, you've been published with Scholastic? You've got a deal with Scholastic? Well, then you're better off than all of us. Why are you even worried about this stuff? Yeah, but it turns out it was all bullshit. Dark Grift ended up emailing the guy, Will whatever, who was using the pen name. And Will got him back on the emails like, yeah, I have no association with this guy, Liam Gray from Australia, blah, blah, blah. No association with him, no idea. Yeah, but Liam has come out here, and this is how Liam has spun it. Liam is saying that he obviously was just joking around, and he wasn't really the author of Slime, but what he wanted to do was test Dark Grift and Mike S. Miller by saying that he was, and seeing which of them says it first in public, because he told them to keep it on the under, don't tell anybody, because then he would know who to trust and who not to trust. Like, that was his whole logic behind telling them that. And he just came out and said that, basically. Like, really? Yeah, anybody who's familiar with Liam Gray lore knows he likes to exaggerate things a little bit. But yeah. Anyway, people were holding him accountable for his words. And a lot of people are believing Liam out there. Ones that aren't fully familiar with him and his lore, I guess. Yeah. Can you imagine actually believing that, though? My God. Yeah, the funny part is when Liam was trying to explain it all and saying the reason why he wanted to test to see who he could trust, because then they wouldn't have access to his Scholastic deal or whatever. Like, wait a minute, motherfucker, that's paradoxical. If you're not really the Liam Gray that wrote the Scholastic book, then you obviously have no inroads with Scholastic. And he got caught in that lie right there. Like, oh man. Like, why not just tell the truth? Why not just tell the fucking truth? You started being a part of this group called Comicsgate. Some of the people within it were ex-industry professionals. You wanted to feel a little bit bigger than what you really were. So you were in fake it till you make it mode. And you told a little fib. You already knew ahead of time that there was somebody else out there named Liam Gray that did the book Slimed, because you probably Google your own name. And you figured you could use that as something to fall back on to make them think that you're a somebody, when really you were a nobody. So you were in fake it till you make it mode. You fucked up. You told a little fib. Yeah, sometimes it happens. But guess what? I fucking made it. The #1 selling independent comic book company in Australia. Yeah, I ended up faking it, but in the end, I made it. Why not just tell the truth like that? Just tell the fucking truth. Nope, he just keeps rolling with the lie. And with people who are real motherfuckers, all it's going to do is just have him lose more respect with the real motherfuckers of the world. And the dumb, brain-dead cultists of CG, that shit might fly, but not with the real ones. The real ones are going to fucking see through that shit. Been a while since I looked at the chat. Where did I leave off? We got Fascist Kirk in the house. Yeah, I decided to fire one up randomly. I was going to do it the other day, but time kind of got away from me. Yeah, I used to watch the old sports ball. It's been a while since I followed sports. Ever since the pandemic and they started being all about leftist politics and BLM and shit. Yeah, it's real hard to watch modern sports. Yeah, it's mostly watching the shit, and then you could find various parables and metaphors you can make with life. You can get various life lessons and shit. Yeah, a lot of people can take a lot of life lessons from the tale of Liam. Yeah, what else is going on over there with CG? We see a lot of Comicsgate crying about Edwin. Boy, Edwin's got Comicsgate by the balls right now. Yeah, he's probably one of the biggest heels right now in that whole sphere. Yeah, CG crying about Edwin all the time. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I heard that they're all crying about Edwin, quote unquote, striking Katie Did's channel. I don't know whether he did it or not, but yeah, crying about striking channels. Like fucking Comicsgate, no more than a few weeks ago, literally struck my other fucking channel for cyberbullying and harassing. Shit. Yeah, between all of the channels I have, I've got close to 20 fucking strikes. You want to talk about fucking channel strikes? Welcome to my world. Yeah, walk a mile in Big Daddy shoes. You'll understand a thing or two about channel strikes. Yeah, Comicsgate literally struck me for cyberbullying and harassing. And they got the nerve and audacity to cry about Edwin. These fucking pieces of shit have no shame. They really don't. Shameless. Shameless bastards. Yeah, I saw Vicky's going to be doing a show talking about those fucking grifters. Watch that at some point. I think it's going to happen after my show. Yeah, it's the only time I really follow this shit now is seeing whatever Vicky reports on them. Then seeing whatever bullshit comes through my Twitter feed. Every so often, I'll turn on the Lord Raptor Jesus show for a few minutes, see what's going on, maybe make a comment or two. Other than that, I don't really follow this fucking shit anymore. I feel kind of embarrassed even talking about it, to be honest. But I know that a lot of the people that started watching my show in the beginning watched my show because of that shit. So I got to talk about it a little bit here and there. Yeah. Looks like Eric July just keeps releasing one book after another. Can't even keep up on that shit. I think he released one called Zaylan, like a fucking cosmic one. The main character looked kind of like Wolverine wearing a fucking cape or something. Yeah, it looks like he's taken that attitude and mentality of take 3 or 4 superheroes from Marvel and DC Universe and just cram them all into one and just do something with that. Hey, whatever works. He's making money. According to Comicsgate, though, he's failing hard. Yeah, one thing Comicsgate isn't taking into account is the frequency of release. Like, if he keeps releasing comics and they all make a healthy 6-figure sum, well, then he's going to be netting $1 million or $2 every year. It doesn't fucking matter if whatever book doesn't make as much as ISOM 1. ISOM 1 was the outlier, which most of the people were supporting him just to support Eric July, just to see Eric July succeed more than buying the comic for the comic's sake. Sometimes you're going to have an outlier like that. That's obviously what ISOM 1 was, the outlier. We'll never ever again see something like that. That was lightning in a bottle moment. The same way Comicsgate was back in that the early days, that window, late 2017 to early 2019. Yeah, sometimes you miss that moment to capture lightning in the bottle, and that opportunity may never come again. Yeah, the days of ISOM books making several million, I mean, that was a one-time thing. But like I said, if you release several projects a year and they all make a healthy six-figure sum, you're going to be fine. He's in a lot better position than Comicsgate right now. Well, it's going to be interesting to see once Ethan releases that faux manga of his, The Diary of Heather Swain. See how much that fucking trash makes. Yeah, that's going to be the true litmus test to Comicsgate's health right there. Ethan's been shit-talking manga and its fans for years. Calling them fucking pedophiles even. And now he's going to try to sell a manga to his audience. We'll see how many of these fucking stupid, dickless marks actually buy that fucking shit. I'll be interesting to see. Yep. Comicsgate. Ripiverse. Grifters. Oh my. Yeah, a lot of dumb motherfuckers over there, I know that. I need to stop talking about them outright, though. I think it might have been a sign when I lost my other Google account and it had all of those clips on it. Like, I had all sorts of funny little clips of various comic skaters saying, doing funny shit. But I'll never be able to upload those things ever again. So it's like, fuck. Maybe this is a sign from God to take the channel in a whole new direction. Take it in a new direction. Just talk about substance. The substance of the world. Rather than the shit of the world. Because that's basically what Comicsgate is now. And that whole fucking section of the internet. Like I said, I feel embarrassed even talking about that shit now. Seeing how far it's fallen, what it's become. Comicsgate started out fighting the SJWs, then they became the SJWs. All you gotta do is look at Richard C. Meyer and what he became. That is just basically what Comicsgate became. Yeah, they all stand for the same shit. In fact, Ethan stands in full solidarity with Richard, parrots all the shit he says too. Yeah, Comicsgate became the SJWs they swore to fight. It's really sad seeing what it became. Kind of like how it's sad seeing the state of the modern Western female. Yeah, the modern Western female has fallen so far. Same as comic skaters, only way, way farther. Anybody gets married nowadays, that marriage is going to end in a divorce. Or if you end up staying with the bitch, she's just going to torture your soul. Very, very rarely we find a couple that's together that's actually in a loving relationship. Even the ones that seem like they're in a loving relationship, behind the scenes, I bet there's nothing but turmoil and chaos. People have been married 10, 20, 25 years or more. Those are the couples that are most likely to fucking kill each other. Full fucking real.
Love, they yell at each other all the time.
Oh, that's true. Ask him, he's been married for how long?
Over 20-something years.
Over 20.
Look at him though, he look mad. You don't look happy, brother. You don't look happy.
He's very happy.
Min Chow, a former TV show bailiff and current Harris County deputy charged with his wife's murder, now ordered not to attend her funeral. Renard Spivey appeared before a judge today. He's facing very specific rules for his bond.
Yep, see? That's a real case right there. This fucking guy, happily married, 2+ decades, end up killing his bitch. Fuck. But then again, they were black, so you never know what kind of shit might have been going down behind the scenes. Yeah, way back in the day, before the time of feminism, if a bitch ever started acting up, what the man would do is just grab that bitch up and just give her a good smack. And the bitch would calm down afterwards. I'm sorry, honey. Like, yeah, you better fucking calm down. Like, it was a normal thing to smack your bitch back in the day. Nobody ever divorced. Everybody was happy. Then feminism happened. And then it became taboo to lay your hands on a woman. And like that, boom. Fucking the end of Western civilization, basically. Nobody's getting married anymore. Nobody's having kids. Yep. A whole generation was told that the world was overpopulated. And then what happened? They actually listened to that shit. Nobody's having families anymore. Not even the goddamn Chinese. Sub-Saharan Africa, the Muslim countries, the third world, they're still having kids, though. That's why we got to move them here to replace Whitey. Yeah, that propaganda worked very, very well on women. Yeah. Females. They're very, very susceptible to propaganda, it seems. It goes back to the Bible. Eve let the snake manipulate her into tasting the forbidden fruit. Yeah, women were groomed to become the doomsday weapon of the West. This is reality. By training a generation and telling them the world is overpopulated, telling them how kids are bad, and then all of a sudden everybody stops having kids. You're like, oh no, how are we going to replace the workforce? How are we going to replace the human population? Well, this is what happens when you tell an entire generation to stop breeding. Sometimes they might actually listen. Yeah, women, they were groomed to become the doomsday weapon of the West. They really were. And one of the things that they groom these women to do is to see their partners as adversaries, not teammates. That's one of the biggest things. Challenger man. Always question him. Like, no. Like, a man, when he's out there in the world, all he has to do, all he has is adversities that he has to face, adversaries. And then when he gets back home, he wants to have his teammate have his back. He doesn't want to face another adversary. But no, they don't understand that. They don't see their partners as teammates. They see them as adversaries. It's one of the biggest fucking problems there is with women. And they wonder why the majority of them are all single. Yeah, I remember hearing some fucking study saying that by the year 2030, 45% of all the women are going to be single and childless. I guess they're way ahead of that prediction. They've done another study. I guess it's already 50%. We're already ahead of that prediction. 50% of the women are single and childless right now. We've already beat the 2030 prediction. Fuck. Beat it by 5% and by 5 years. Yep. They were groomed to become the doomsday weapon of the West. How do we fix this shit? How do we fucking fix it? Got to stop simping. That's the number one thing. Men have got to stop simping. Yeah, even the bitches that you think are good, they've still got some an OnlyFans where they're showing pictures of their feet and shit. I've got feet videos. Simps. As long as simps are out there enabling these bitches, they're going to become thoughts. And thought culture is the thing that's tearing down Western civilization. Without the simp, the thought doesn't exist. Oh, fucking real. It's kind of hard out here for a simp when you try to make this money for the rent. And all your Cadillac gas money spent, and a whole lot of bitches jumping ship. You know it's hard now out here for a simp. It's kind of hard out here for a simp. Yeah, fucking simps. You got to stop simping. Once simps stop simping, then these bitches have no incentive to become thoughts anymore. Then they got to start becoming wives and mothers again. Because one of the biggest things that's helping erode the soul of the modern female, social media. Fucking social media. Getting on there and get all these simps. Telling them how good they look, blowing up their egos. Next thing you know, these women who are 4s think they're fucking 10s. No longer a 49er, no. She's a 10 now. Even the 2s think they're 10s. All the dumb cunts think they're fucking 10s. They have no humility, no shame. They're not humble. Yeah. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. The first fucking way we fix women, got to get rid of the simps. Men got to stop simping. Simping ain't easy. Simping ain't easy. Whoa, no, no, simping ain't easy. Yeah, women. When it comes to women, well, I could say it, but I'll go ahead and let Optimus Prime say it.
Remember this, Sam. All girls are bi. You just need to find out if she is bipolar, bilingual, bisexual, or just a bitch. I'm going to turn into a truck now. Birch, church, a charge, a ding ding church. Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin.
Optimus! Yeah, Optimus. When in doubt, listen to Optimus. He knows best. He's an advanced robot from across the stars. If anybody knows, it's Optimus. All right. You know, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. We've ripped the fucking mic for a while. You know what? I think we're going to end the show. This is a perfect time to end the show. All right. Yeah, it's been a fun one, guys. Thanks for coming out.
Oh, real. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy, I need no sympathy, because I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. Mama just killed the man, put a gun against his head, pulled that trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life isn't just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away. Yeah, Mama, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time next week, carry on, 'cause nothing really matters to me. Too late, my time has come, sends shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody, I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, I don't wanna die. Sometimes I wish I'd never been born at all. Carry on, carry on. Nothing really matters to me. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolt of lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, 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 Magnifico. I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. Spare him the sight from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go, will you let me go? Bismillah, no, we will not let you go. Let him go. Bismillah, no, we will not let you go. Let him go. Bismillah, no, we will not let you go. We'll not let you go. We'll not let you go. No. Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia. Mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub as the devil for the sun. For me, for me, for me. So you think you can stone me and spit in my eye? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right out of here. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Nothing really matters, and if one can see. Nothing really matters to me. Nothing really matters, and if one can see, nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me. Thanks for coming out. Something takes a part of me. You and I were meant to be. A keeper for me to lay. Something takes a part of me. Something takes a part of me. Boom da da, 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 go. Nothing really matters, and if one can see, nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me.
I don't care about what happens to me. I want to keep going and keep attacking. We're made for this, and we're going to bang heads till somebody's head breaks open and the brains hit the ground. I am ready to ram my head into them until my brains or their brains are on the ground. You understand? I will hammer my forehead into their forehead and will never stop. I enjoy it. And I want to hit them at full speed. Full speed! And I can't stand not getting up to full speed. I want to hit them and obliterate them. I want to smash them harder than they've